Good afternoon or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, depending on where you're watching from. This is our YouTube presentation of the 2025 WAUPACA Open. I'm Rob Aspero alongside Taylor Wright, who's been hanging on the right coast in Florida, whereas I've been hanging on the left coast in Newport Beach, California. And we have been seeing championship Friday vibes on all our matches here today, which is a wonderful thing to see when it comes to competitive volleyball. We've got a semi-final matchup here, but before we meet our athletes competing in our semi-final, let's bring in Mr. T-Dub, Taylor Wright in the house. How you doing, Taylor?
Rob, always a pleasure to be here on the microphone with you, and the level of expertise that you bring to the game and the player background is just unmatched. I can just pray to bring the energy that you bring, the brains for this match here between Evan Cory and Troy Field, taking on Robert Wyatt Harrison and Charlie Siragusa.
Oh, it's going to be a wonderful matchup. You've got the battle of the Bomb Brothers versus Team Gigantor. The Bomb Brothers, Evan, Cory, Troy Field, they stand at a respective 6'3" and 6'4", but with the blast that comes off their shoulder, they've been detonating and creating fireworks of their own post 4th of July. Then on the other side of that, you got the former Tritons teaming up. You know, they're not just at 6'3", 6'4", they're coming in at 6'6", and 6'9", and that's Wyatt Harrison and Charlie Siragusa, respectively. Both have been playing some really good ball, but they are super physical and have been muscling their way, bullying their way to the semifinal. And as Taylor likes to call it, it's Bomb Fest time when Evan and Troy are involved. But how are the Bombs going to fare against the block of Charlie? And every once in a while, Wyatt will speak up there as well.
Absolutely, and I'd like to bring up, before we get too deep into the coverage here, the chess match or the bomb fest that Evan, Cory, and Troy Field just had to fight their way through as we were commentating a little bit right before the last women's semifinal. Evan, Cory, Troy Field going to 3 against the 9-seed Tim Baumgren, Eric Lopke, taking the third set 27-25. For anyone listening that doesn't know beach volleyball too well, the third set's supposed to be to 15, gentlemen. So that is a long third set. I'm sure Evan, Cory, Troy Field probably doing a little stretching after that one, trying to get ready for this semifinal against, as you brought up, the towering block of Charlie Siragusa and Wyatt Harrison. Certainly no small feat in his own at 6'6", a heck of a scoop and score defending threat. So Evan, Cory, Troy Field certainly need to bring their A game in this one, and it's going to be a great matchup, Rob. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I can sense the excitement in your voice. And when we've got Volley HD in our previous semifinal on the women's side, we're trying to watch that quarterfinal match of Evan and Troy. But let's get their biostats out there. Evan Cory stands at 6'3" from Metairie, Louisiana. Did his undergrad career at LMU or Lincoln Memorial University as a D1-2 outside hitter. He was definitely one for the highlight reels, and that's the Lincoln Memorial Rail Splitter. So shout out to LMU. Had a great season this last 2025, breaking the top 20. His partner stands at 6'4", but man, that is a deceptive 6'4" when you got the jump that he has. Troy Field from Laguna Beach, California, lives in Mission Viejo. On the other side of the net, the number 5 seed, Wyatt Harrison, the former Triton, stands at 6'6", defender from Santa Cruz, California. And he is a former all-conference player in the Big West, so he's capable of detonating a lot of balls. And his partner, Charlie Siragusa, the 6'9" blocker from Rochester, New York. We know he lives in the South Bay because I see him rolling around there on his bike on the Strand. Did some time at BYU, but finished his career at UC San Diego, hence the Triton pair teaming up here in our WAUPACA Open semifinal. So Taylor, let's do this.
I can't wait. By the way, Rob, if you're keeping up with the bracket as I know you normally are, our women's next match here on Stadium also decided. The women's final is going to be between Maureen Kinna, Chloe Lorene, taking on Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez. So another bomb fest after this one coming up quickly on the women's final side as well.
Troy Field gets a hold of one right out of the gate, and it's 1-0.
We're going to see Troy Field as the solo blocker on this matchup, with Evan Cory staying back in defense.
Swinging high out the block is Harrison. Picked up by Cory, but it goes into the stand.
You know, go ahead, Rob.
I just said the standard, the referee standard.
A big stat you brought up yesterday, and they're still sticking with it. Very interesting point is that Charlie Siragusa playing as a right side at UC San Diego, and Wyatt Harrison playing as an outside, an All-American outside at that. And seeing them here playing a little switch hitting side where Charlie is now hitting from the left side and Wyatt coming from the right side. So certainly creating some havoc with some unconventional swings, but it hasn't slowed them down as they've marched into this men's semifinal.
I believe it's 2-1, 2 serving 1 after that roll shot by Troy Field. Working the line to Harrison. Going wrist away, but out of play. Point going to Field and Cory.
Something we talked early in the match that we called with Wyatt and Charlie yesterday was Charlie at Denver really struggled to find his big swing early in some matches, and kind of having to, dive down into his bag into some roll shots and not really nearly as effective as his swing. So missing that one there, a little wide out of bounds. I'm certain that Charlie's going to go right back to his big boy swing and find that quickly. And I do have the score here on volleyballlife.com as 3-2. That's going to send Charlie Siragusa back to the line, down 2, serving 3.
Serve goes into the net as our on command. The scorebug makes an appearance on the screen, ties up with 3s.
I think this should make it now 4-2, I believe.
Cory goes right down the middle. And jumping and a thumping is a Wyatt Harrison.
Big swing by Wyatt there. So that's something we saw yesterday is, a lot of teams testing Charlie Siragusa early on and hoping the big 6'9" man from Rochester, New York, not able to maybe make a good server seat pass. Then every once in a while going after Wyatt Harrison, and Wyatt Harrison making him pay with a big bomb.
Field on the broken play. Overhand dig by Siragusa. Siragusa, highline roll covered by Cory. Cory dug by Harrison in the angle. Slinging the rock. Charlie Siragusa from his knees pushes it to the left pin.
A big swing there, falling away and snapping down off the platform of Evan Cory. 4-4.
That was a very acrobatic set by Charlie Siragusa. Harrison winding up, overpass. Does it go off the block? No, it goes out of play. Hits the antenna, 5-4.
Man, that was so close to being a block touch there. I don't know how that ball managed to miss, so good fortune there for Charlie Siragusa.
And that serve goes into the net, and aggressively going for the serves, Wyatt Harrison. What are your thoughts on the serving in big matches like this semi?
Yeah, the big thing that we've really noticed over the last couple of weeks, and not to give away any trade secrets, Troy Field, don't be mad at me here, but we've seen Troy Field kind of struggle with a top serve coming down the line, kind of eating into the inside of his seam, or even a float serve short at his kind of front right knee, forcing him down and low in. At Denver, we notice him getting served short to the line a lot and struggling with that. Since he's cleaned that up, now that kind of inside seam has been the ball that he struggled there. That exact serve kind of forcing Evan wide, but a great set by Evan, and Troy able to come in and detonate that ball off the high hands of Charlie Siragusa. So it'll be interesting to see if Wyatt Harrison and Charlie Siragusa, I'm sure they've done their homework. Maybe watched a couple games. Maybe they were watching that last game against Tim Baumgren and Eric Lupke and picked up a few things that they're going to take into the service pressure here against Troy Field.
6-6 our score. Siragusa steps back. Harrison on the option. Option bang by Field and an almost recovery for Siragusa and Harrison.
You're going to have a trade there on the option swings, but Wyatt not able to get that ball back out of the platform as he kind of catches it. Wyatt, brother, this isn't dodgeball. You don't get a third player if you catch the ball.
Call them all in. Harrison, short pass, soft knuckle, picked up by Cory, and Cory lights it up down the line.
I'm going to say it now, Charlie, brother, you're going to have to find that big boy swing that we know you're capable of. We've watched you for years at UC San Diego absolutely rip away. The shots are good. I'm not wanting to take away from his soft game, but Evan Cory just so poised in defense. Charlie, you're going to have to go up and rip some balls here if you hope to take down the defending Denver AVP champions.
And there's a little exclamation point blast by Charlie Siragusa, hearing the challenge by Taylor Wright live.
So it'll be interesting to see here who Wyatt goes after. As we've noticed, those flags in the background kind of calmed down a good bit, not a whole lot of wind leading to a good side, bad side. So this is just mano-a-mano service pressure. I think Wyatt's going to try to test the seam here, certainly not wanting to give an easy ball to Troy Field, but he's going to miss that one down to the net, though. So I like the service pressure, but certainly got to get it over and in, boys.
Troy Field serving at 9-7. A huge third set in their quarterfinal against Tim Baumgren and Eric Lepke. That's right, the Eric Lepke of the Canadian men's national team indoor, who's listed on the Volleyball Nations League roster. Apparently Canada has an off week. They go back on next week, but I was shocked to see his partner, because Eric Lepke is a ferocious banger at the left pin for the Maple Leafs or Team Canada. Siragusa wiping high.
Charlie beating the block with the Nuckies, 8 serving 10.
And Charlie proving me wrong there, proving that he can score with a soft, supple touch, as Jacob Justice would call that one. But again, I believe that one there worked because he did expose that big cross-court swing just a moment ago, forcing Evan Cory to sit still in defense. And an errant pass there, taken care of by Troy, though. And Evan just detonating on a ball. The Blue Nose Bandit strikes again.
He's got rocket packs strapped to his ankles. I don't know how that out-of-system play ended up being the hammer that it was.
I do. Two couple simple words: Evan Cory, Troy Field. Enough said.
I thought you were going to say vertical jump.
That's without saying with those two names.
9 serving 11.
All right, we either got a crow flying into our view or a not-so-funny fan trying to block our screen here.
I think we might have a little bit of rain coming up on the radar, so that might be our streamography staff getting a rain cover over the top of that camera there to protect it. Big shout out. I've actually done a really bad job, and I feel so bad. Normally I'm loving all the shout outs and doing a bad job today, so really quick on this quick timeout here. Big shout out to our streamography staff on site, bringing us all these beautiful live feeds from the AVP WAUPACA Open. Also Wilson for providing the optics volleyballs for the entire AVP Tour and League events, as well as the WAUPACA boat ride staff for providing this beautiful venue and working with the AVP to bring this Contender Series event, which, by the way, Rob, as we all know now, is a feeder directly into the storied and historic Manhattan Beach Open. So these boys aren't just fighting for a big pretty check, which we all know going home with a little cash is always nice, but that instant bid into Manhattan Beach, what a big time moment that would be for Wyatt Harrison, Charlie Siragusa, as Evan Cory, Troy Field already possessed their bid after taking down the Denver Open last weekend.
You know, if you've never been to the Manhattan Beach Open, everyone says it, and it's said so often, I feel like it's lost its luster, but it is electric there. There is just something about being on that beach in Manhattan, that huge venue, the pier right there, and the volleyball community comes out in force. and they're ready to see good ball, and it makes it so exciting for everyone that's involved in one way or another. See that serve miss wide. Siragusa wisely holding back on that one.
Yeah, Rob, I haven't had my chance to make it out there for that tournament yet. I certainly hope I do get the chance to make it there one day and maybe even call it one day. I'm going to call that shooting my shot there from the mic here in Florida. Out of bounds goes Troy Field in the cutty. So, but a block touch is called. I apologize. I missed that one. It's a little hard to see from this inline view sometimes. So 13 serving 10. Evan Cory at the line.
Little micro direction change off of Siragusa as now he goes to the knuckle. Cory on the dig, and he just wisely goes high line.
And emphasis on the word high there, Rob. Again, I think a lot of people might be forgetting, as Wyatt Harrison certainly standing next to Charlie might be taking away from the fact that that gentleman is 6'9", and not only 6'9", I think I've seen a little social media post that puts Charlie's vertical into the mid-30s. So that's a high reach. So if you're going high line, emphasis on the word high.
Look at Harrison take care of business on 2. Just a little half jump, enough to get the ball up and over. Swing right down the seam as they reach 11 at 11-14. Harrison winds up on the spin. Cory passes off the net. Cory using and getting denied by Siragusa.
Oh, but what a block. And I missed the monster block call for Charlie there. Charlie, brother, that block went so straight down, I thought it came back on your own side.
12-14, another good rip by Harrison. And Cory hammering.
Monster kill.
I've got to say, over the last 3 weeks watching Evan Cory Troy Field play ball, the biggest thing that I can say and the most impressive thing I can say about them is just the way they respond after getting blocked is just second to none. Evan Cory getting blocked at the previous point and then just coming back with a bomb rip right under the reach of Charlie Siragusa, and then Charlie responding there with a great swing as well.
13-15 on the turn. Again, we are in our men's semifinal here at the AVP WAUPACA Open Contender Series. And man, it hasn't been short of action today, that's for sure. Waiting for the whistle here as Siragusa winds up. Cory. And Cory misses wide open net.
14 serving 15.
You know, it's very rare that Evan Cory will hit a uncontested ball wide.
Yeah, just something we don't typically see. And there it happens again. So Evan Cory maybe, uncomfortable. Also, we talked about it. There's a very likely chance that Troy Field could just be just a skosh tired, Rob. After taking a third set, 27-25, he might just be a little tired after that long push that took to take down Tim Baumgren and Eric Lepke.
Oh, what I can see is them shooting it over in 2 with a little set over the shoulder or popping it on the sneak on the two ball attack. Siragusa on the inside set. Easily through the block. Charlie coming out really good here in our first set.
Yeah, he had that one early miss wide, and I don't think he's really missed much since.
Rolling it over the top. I think, Taylor, you may be right, because there just isn't as much zip in Evan and Troy's steps right now.
Yeah, they could be tired. Also, Wyatt Harrison so far has had several really big pickups on the swing, so Evan, Cory, Troy Field might also just be pushing that ball a little deeper, really hoping to not get scoop and scored by the 6'6" frame of Harrison, and a big exclamation boom by Charlie Siragusa there, putting an exclamation late in this early set.
Bouncetown population of 2, and Wyatt Harrison and Charlie Siragusa are the populants.
Yeah, Wyatt Harrison, Charlie Siragusa heard my call for the Bomb Fest, and so far Evan, Cory, Troy Field 1 or 2, but not really showing off the normal Bomb Fest that they do as well. Oh, and
Siragusa.
Big one. Man, what a crunch time switch block that was. Rob, Evan, Cory, Troy Field a little on their heels here. They've got to find their rhythm quickly. We talked early in the day about not really seeing a lot of, quick tempo sets, and they might need to go to that game right now just to get the ball away from Charlie.
Well, float serve that goes too long is a good start to size up at 18s if they want to get back into it. Call that break for Evan and Troy's side, but let's see what they can do from the service line. Maybe they can get the real point here. Harrison, right back at you. Troy Field on the stuff. Field on the approach, and Harrison denying the attacker.
What a man. Charlie and Harrison right now have they're making a statement quickly in this first set that they're not scared, and I love it.
Really tough serve off the cable, picked up by Field. Field dug by Harrison, bumps it to the left pin. Harrison winds up and drills it off of Cory, and we've got set point Harrison and Siragusa.
Okay, we're going to get a timeout quickly by Evan, Cory, and Troy Field right now. They've only got 1 per set, and they're choosing a great time to use it now. Wow, Rob, what an absolute showing so far by Wyatt Harrison and Charlie Siragusa. They are in control of this first set. As we've seen, Evan, Cory, and Troy Field honestly have struggled with some first sets throughout this tournament here at the WAUPACA Open, and it'll be interesting to see how they respond. A loss here certainly isn't the end of the road, as we've seen them take multiple matches to 3 and end up being the victors, but not the way you'd want to see them come out after just having a very long marathon of a match right on the court just to our left, where we now see a beautiful fan base filling in here for this men's semifinal.
Well, yeah, I was saying that they're lacking that zip to their step, and understandably so when you go 27-25 just to advance out of the quarterfinal. But, don't want to take anything away from Wyatt and Charlie because they are playing good ball. That last ball was a great example. You just saw confidently stepping into that dig was Harrison, pushing himself out to that left sideline and asking for that ball and ripping it cross court like he's in his indoor days playing on Terraflex. Great dig by Harrison. It goes up and over, knuckle poke joust, and the trash comes over on 1.
Really good shot there by Troy, just recognizing that ball coming back at him quickly and just putting it away. But what a dig by Harrison there. Charlie just not able to win it up top at the net, which is surprising as a 6'9" Charlie Siragusa goes up against Troy Field.
Oh, and now it's timeout
for Charlie. Yeah.
So we got another timeout, this time for Harrison Siragusa, serving for their second set point here in our men's semifinal. But Taylor, like you were saying earlier, Troy and Evan had that long set, but for the most part, the entire tournament, they've been taking care of business pretty quickly.
Absolutely, yeah. They had that first long, kind of third set match happen late yesterday against the 16 seed of Misha Freistatter and Adam Hartman, and then another marathon of a match today against Tim Baumgren and Eric Lupke. So before that, winning 2 matches rather quickly, 21-14, 21-9 against Cory Colberg, Tyler Moore, and then quickly right after that as well, 21-12, 21-13, taking down Kevin Coyle, TJ Yurko, which we got to call a match of theirs yesterday, and taking down Kevin Coyle, TJ Yurko in quick 2 sets, 21-12, 21-13, not an easy task. So they certainly have been playing some great ball, but these last 2 matches have plagued them, having to go to 3 to get the W.
Set point number 2 for Harrison and Siragusa, and there it is. 21-19, the victors, the number 5 seed. The pair of former UCSD Tritons go up 1-0 on the Bombfest brothers.
Rob, you know I love to talk about what might be going on in a player's brain, and being a player myself, a lot of times I like to think of it as a soundtrack. And if I'm Charlie and Wyatt right now, I just got to be vibing. They just not like us, right? You're playing the Bomb brothers of Evan, Cory, and Troy Field, and if that's your first time watching volleyball right now, you don't know where they got that name from, because Wyatt Harrison and Charlie Siragusa showing up like the Bomb brothers. So a big flipping of the coin there is Wyatt and Charlie come out absolutely just bombing away, not giving Evan, Cory, and Troy Field a chance to really get into their groove. Cory and Field certainly know how to respond right now. They've done it so far in their last 2 matches, dropping that first set and then immediately responding with a great statement win in the second set. They're just going to have to find their groove early. Charlie and Wyatt are playing some great ball. Wyatt Harrison, big tip of the cap to you, sir. Some phenomenal digs down the stretch there in the last couple points of that match to really help Charlie be able to go up and win some balls to the net. So Evan, Cory, Troy Field, stretch those legs out. You're going to have to come back with some firepower.
Excellent call, Taylor. And you know, you were mentioning that match that I missed last night to end the day. That went 3, Misha Freistetter and Adam Hartman. I'm thinking, you know, if I'm a government, I need some secret operatives. They had such a small digital footprint, no one knew anything about them. So I was telling you, Taylor, make some stuff up, because there literally was nothing on them until yesterday after that 3-set loss to Evan, Cory, and Troy Field. Jumps there by Harrison, cross court over to Cory. Cory rolls it over the top. 1-0.
Yeah, and I think just for everyone watching, that's our rain cover over the camera. It's Ty. We're talking with the on-site staff right now. It will be fixed in no time. We apologize for the quick little rope in the way. And a big swing off the top of the hands of Troy Field goes Charlie Siragusa, coming right out in this second set, not wanting to slow down the Bomb Fest. Great response there, in my opinion, by Charlie. Again, he's just making statements right now, left and right.
1-0. Excellent corner serve over to Cory. And going up with 2, looking like out of frustration, was Troy Field, because he followed through into the net.
Yeah, maybe a little frustration play there by Troy.
2-0 by my count. I'm trying to get even the Volleyball Life score bug isn't updating either. Harrison off the dig in transition, overhand dig by Field, picked up by Harrison. Harrison off the hands of Cory, and the D2K, or dig to kill.
Shooting to the open slam, look at the serve.
Wow. I love this chess match of the second set so far. That first set was a lot of just swing away and see what they can do with it. This one so far, both teams just kind of really trying to show something new, figure out what's going to work. And a great one-hand dig there by Evan. Cory comes back too tight, though, and Charlie is able to...
Whoa,
my word! Wyatt Harrison.
That's levitation, Holmes. Right there is Wyatt Harrison. Welcome to the big show.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Oshkosh, Wisconsin is also home to the largest fly-in of anywhere in the world, where pilots from all over the world fly in for an entire week and they camp with their aircraft. And that airport is...
Oh, look at that. Tagging the sideline on the ace.
That one of the FAA. And then responding with an ace, Wyatt Harrison. What's in your water bottle? Because I need some.
Harrison aggressively going for that area 2-1 sideline. Sidelines and seams, as I keep hearing from my coaches. That's where you want to serve, sidelines and seams. I believe that's a 4-3 on the turn, with Siragusa and Harrison leading. Cory floating over towards Harrison. We'll see what he does with a hot hand. And hot hand cooled off.
Yeah, Troy Field getting a great block there finally. So far, Troy Field, normally a very formidable blocker, but so far in this match has not been, much of a factor at the net, and finally getting one on his belt there.
Off the cable, and Siragusa cleaning up the trash up top.
Wyatt Harrison made a great play on that ball. That ball trickling down just off the top of the tape, falling almost straight back down the net, and just puts up a beautiful option set for Charlie to detonate on.
And returning the favor, Evan Cory, the Bayou Bomber.
The blue-nosed bandit strikes again. Oh my word. I think Troy, somebody told Evan and Troy that I was talking smack, because they're coming out swinging in the second set for sure.
Ball falls on the Cory and Field side. I'm thinking the score is 7-5, but need confirmation here. Being there, oh, there it is. The score bug is up, but still not updating. And it's not updating on Volleyball Life either, so we apologize to you, fans. We'll get that worked on here in just a few moments with our awesome streamography staff on site and make that another ace for Wyatt Harrison. First going for that jump spin right on the line, now going to that finesse float with precision.
I think Wyatt Harrison taking a book from the last match here on center court. A little nod to Izzy Martinez, as Wyatt Harrison quickly taking over this match from the defender slot and adding to the scoreboard with aces, bombs, and a block earlier. So that one turned down the line away for a point.
And then back to serve.
Trying to see if we can get the score here. I believe it's 6-8. No, that would have been a switch, so maybe 5-8. High ball to the right side to Harrison, and he is denied.
We are switching sides, 7-7 here in set number 2.
Okay, closer. 7-7 our score on the turn.
But a note to what you just said, though, Robin, the score is 7-7, but without knowing the score, it certainly seemed like Wyatt and Charlie are running away with the second set. So Evan, Cory, Troy Field certainly finding some points here and there, but just based on the way that they're playing, Wyatt and Charlie certainly seem to be in control, just from the way that they're acting and walking around the court with their chins up, their chest out, and Wyatt is just bombing some serve. Let's see what Charlie can bring from the line here.
It's interesting that Cory and Field hit that easy float serve to Charlie and gave him so much time to get a good platform underneath that ball and set up his attack.
Oh, just off the top of the fingertips there.
Got a delayed jump by Siragusa, thinking he's going to see a shot. So Cory taking advantage of the late jump by Charlie.
Yeah, a really good shot there. And it looked like they were almost maybe running a 4 block, and Charlie just not able to set his feet and elevate.
Cory on the dig down the line, trapped ball, and welcome to the highlight zone. Evan Cory busted one into the crowd.
There we go, Evan. That one's certainly on top of the barn roof behind us. Great ball there by Evan, just detonating that one down and away.
Hopefully there's no weddings being had or receptions in the barn, as you so told me earlier.
Sure, I hope not. There's a groom holding the ball right now.
And it misses wide. Big cheeky play. No bueno.
Troy is well known for the set overs, the back sets, the LeBron James dunks on the joust, and that one just barely missing one. You heard the whole crowd start to exclaim as they saw him going for it, but just a little bit too much muscle.
Ball's passed off the net, and the attack error.
Man, Charlie was climbing the climbing the ladder trying to get to that ball, and thank God he didn't, as it falls out of bounds.
Harrison on the spin. High ball in the middle to Field, and he goes crossbody on the winner. 10-10 our score. A must-win set for Evan, Cory, and Troy Field. Siragusa seeing a majority of the serves, and there's one for Eaton. Troy Field feasting.
Yeah, Charlie passing that low, short serve there, putting it up a little too close to the Troy Field throwdown, as he's become well known for his joust dunks lately and eating on one there. So all of a sudden, Evan, Cory, Troy Field have put on a great run here to put themselves up just 1 point at the technical timeout. Rob, Harrison and Siragusa look like they might be slowing down just a touch, which is understandable. They came out in that first set really just cranking on every ball, and even early in this set, really putting on, as we call that, bomb fest, and it almost looks like they might be slowing down just a touch. So Wyatt, whatever you had in that water bottle, you might want to take a couple sips. What would you like to see out of Harrison and Siragusa here? What's a great response for them right now? Big serves, big swings, go to a finesse game. What do you think the best shot for them to take charge of this game again would be?
I think that Wyatt Harrison has been the source of the points on that side, and keeping it on him to have the ability to score would probably be the best technique right now. He's been consistent. He's hitting hard serves, getting points on the service line, getting digs, and he even has a block to his name. So, ride your winning pony right now. And a shot on two by Siragusa. Edison goes the other way.
Troy can't believe it. He thought he had a good beat on that, and Charlie just dotting that one on the line. What a shot by Charlie Siragusa with the set over.
I think there's a little stare down after that. What do you think?
I think Troy was asking, honestly, if Charlie was square there. And, from our angle, it's really hard to tell. That's such a judgment call by the referees. And we do have a full 4.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, check for survivors. Big swing, but an even bigger block.
Sometimes we hear the ball doesn't lie statement come out, and I'm sure if Troy Field had gotten the kill there, we might have heard that just quietly whispered by the hot mic on the court, but Charlie not giving that any credence and going up and just hammering that one back down the block.
And Evan Cory with his option ball winner off of Siragusa in retaliation.
With 12-12 the score line, Evan Cory, Troy Field have got to find some fire, which they're well known for, and I look forward to them bringing some bombs right here in the middle of this set.
Charlie finding a groove here in these last few points, Taylor.
Yeah, something we've seen Charlie kind of struggle with is switching back and forth between the shot game and his power swing, but not right now. He is carving up and then bombing them up back and forth.
Cory, roll shot, good read. Option ball, dug by Cory. Does it fall in? Yes, it does. Wasn't clean, but it did the job.
Troy Field, Evan Cory playing with a third player on the court right now, and its name is AVP United Volleyball Net, as Troy just punches that one into the top of the tape and gets it to fall in bounds.
Deep service, Siragusa. He's going to have to go to the left side, but Harrison forces the back set, picked up by Cory, bumps it to the right pin. Cory getting down.
A phenomenal set there by Wyatt Harrison, running that wild pass from Charlie Siragusa down. But the storyline, Evan Cory detonating on a ball from off the net. I'm not sure exactly how far, but it looked like he was a good 6 to 7 feet and just ripping that ball at Charlie Siragusa.
Siragusa is going to have another attempt to get back. Dug by Field. Push to the right pin. Cuddy action. Goes into the net, and you can see visibly that Troy Field not happy with that missed opportunity.
Yeah, too much Cuddy. All supposed to go over the net, Troy, not into it. The soccer championships are next weekend. This is volleyball. It goes over, not in.
14 all in our second set. Harrison with another tough serve. Cory off the top of the block. Great pickup by Harrison. Harrison on the down ball. Elects to go towards Cory. Cory winding up out of the left side and misses long. What a rally for Harrison.
Man, they were just down a couple of points at the side switch and the technical timeout being down 1. And a great showing here by Wyatt Harrison and Charlie Siragusa, wanting to make their first finals appearance here at the AVP WAUPACA Open.
Harrison going for it from the service line. Field off the block of Siragusa. $15 all. Field going back to serve. Got to make something happen now if they want to force this third set tiebreak. Siragusa winding up on that slow approach, and he goes to that wrist-away winner.
So that exact shot right there is the one that Misha Freistatter just absolutely shredded Evan Cory and Troy Field on yesterday in that first set. So that really big frame that I think Misha was coming in at 6'8", Charlie Siragusa at 6'9". Evan Cory Troy Field really struggled yesterday with that kind of just wrist away, push away ball that Charlie Siragusa just went to. Be interesting to see if he recognizes quickly that that ball scored very easily and really not contested at all by Troy Field's block. So if they want to make a late push here and really seal the deal, I think that's a ball that Charlie Siragusa should certainly be looking to recreate over and over again.
Taylor, do you think the darkness of the clouds is becoming a factor out there? Because it's definitely getting close to evening time, and I think it's a lot darker than everyone expected.
Absolutely. I expect some lights to get cut on here pretty quickly, but as we all know, us that play and have played in and around and under the lights, it can certainly be quite the change in depth perception as the light starts to dwindle, and then even going to artificial light from sunlight certainly can play a lot of tricks on your mind and on your eyes. So we'll see who's able to really capitalize with that.
Attack air ties us up at 16s. Working Harrison now out of the right side. Harrison Cuddy picked up by Cory. Knuckle poke blocked by Siragusa. Joust Kong blocked by Siragusa. Thrown down up top by Cory.
Oh my word. That's all I have to say. What a bad man you are, Evan Cory. Blocked up top twice, responds with a banger straight at Wyatt Harrison.
17-16, lead change yet again. Shooting it and pulling and covering it is Field. Field looks down the line, points, and says, "Gotcha, bruh."
Yeah, Charlie maybe getting a little too cute on that one. It worked earlier, but Troy read you like a book on that one. That's a Troy Field play to begin with. So if you're going to do it to the master, wax on, wax off. It's going to come right back at you.
Well, right now, Evan, Cory, and Troy Field are going to have to sweep the leg, Johnny, if they want to force this third set tiebreak, because they're up by a pair but down 0-1. And Wyatt Harris and Charlie Siragusa came out in the first set playing some pretty darn good ball, but somehow Evan, Cory, and Troy Field have battled their way back in with just some little adjustments and playing their game, making things happen by stuffing some balls and hammering at the same time. So, Taylor, what are you telling each other if you're in that box with Evan, Cory, and Troy Field?
Just keep pushing. Right now, they really need to keep pushing the service pressure. Wyatt Harrison and Charlie Siragusa both starting to not really pass the best volleyballs out of serve receive, and that's leading to some wild sets and some transitional balls that Wyatt Harrison and Charlie Siragusa, no offense, you guys are not going to win the transitional game against Evan, Cory, and Troy Field. Those two players are just too fast, too controlled, and too explosive and able to come up and detonate in mid-play. So take care of first ball and do exactly what they're doing here. Just a big bump, set, rip. Wyatt Harrison missing that one deep.
Oh, it goes off the block. Late touch call. 17-18.
Oh, man. They got lucky on that one because that was an away swing. So little save by the bell action there gives Wyatt Harrison and Charlie Siragusa a little life, as they would have gone down 19-16. Instead, it's the crunch time switch of 17 serving 18.
Deep serve over to Field. Let's see what he does with the offering. Great dig by Harrison, but it goes up and over. Field coming on the outside in approach, and another one for the highlight reel.
Evan Cory just so good at that outside in approach from the right side, turning back hard to the line. Nobody home except a popped Wilson Optics volleyball.
19-17. Field. Siragusa now on the attack. And Siragusa denied.
You know, I was saying it earlier, Troy Field not really showing up and getting some early blocks, but he's certainly playing very good ball here down the stretch and showing up when it matters. And as you like to say, Rob, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Field floating it down the line. They're going to give it to Siragusa once again. And back-to-back stuffs. And we are going to a third set tiebreak after Troy Field puts up the wall of enforcement over in WAUPACA.
You know, I'd like to just go, you know me now a little bit, Rob, and how much I love and I nerd out a little bit on the stat lines and what the kind of story they tell, especially late in these big-time matches of a single elimination bracket. So, Evan, Cory, Troy Field, both times that they've had to go to 3 this weekend, they've lost the first set 18-21 or 19-21. So, very reminiscent of what we're seeing on that score bug right there in the bottom left corner of the feed. And then they've won the second set 21-16, 21-16, now 21-17. So again, a very reminiscent score of what we've seen from Evan, Cory, and Troy Field. So now going into a third, it's going to be very telling of how Charlie Siragusa and Wyatt Harrison respond immediately out of the gate. We saw 2 different storylines in the third set. The first time, they took down Misha Freistad and Adam Hartman 15-9. Very much in control the whole time. The second time they went to 3 against Tim Baumgren, Eric Lupke, 27-25. And as we saw, just keeping track of the score over there, that game was just a point trading fest the entire time. I don't think any team ever had more than a 2-point lead all the way to that 27-25 win. So if Wyatt Harrison and Charlie Siragusa can start strong and keep it within 1 or 2, they stand a chance. But if they give up any kind of lead, Evan, Cory, Troy Field's going to smell the blood in the water, and they're coming fast, and they're going to be so hard to slow down.
Excellent call. I feel like Wyatt Harrison and Charlie Siragusa need to change up the offense, especially since we know they're keeping the ball on Charlie Siragusa. Siragusa keeps coming in that one area set, which is that push to the left pin. They got to switch it up, go middle, and maybe even swing a little to the backside too, because Troy Field relies on that compression on his right as he gathers for his jump on the block. And if it keeps them dishonest, if you have some people jumping into the screen there thinking we're getting selfie time.
Those may or may not be some friends of mine that are keeping up with the stream online while also watching it live. It's Blake Reardon and Savannah Gonzalez, some Jack's Beach locals that showing me a little love and wanting to get up there and get a picture. So I apologize for that for those viewers at home.
I thought it was 4 people on the FBI's most wanted in the top 20 list. 1-0 the score after the knock by the block by Troy Field. Siragusa, lift called on the dig. Is that what the call is? It's sticky belly. Just landed in Evan Cory's stomach and midsection area and got stuck for a second.
Yeah, that's a tough call by the referee, but in my opinion, they're the right one. So 1-1 with Charlie Siragusa serving down the line at Evan Cory.
Cory over the top, Harrison on the read. Harrison off the top of the block, and the attempted dig on 2, being that touch the block of Field, goes into the net.
Yeah, Evan thought he had that one dialed up a little. I'm going to say a little savvy Simo there, trying to just tomahawk shoot that one back. Maybe they've talked about that one, I'm sure.
Short serve and faking the attack was Field, and buying time was Field on that set to Cory at the right pin.
Yeah, I think that's the right move for Evan Cory Troy Field right now. Charlie Siragusa is certainly giving them some trouble at the net blocking wise. I don't hate them going to a little bit more showboat flashy play right now and get some jump sets in.
Overdig by Cory. Shot off the block of Field. He was hanging and swinging and trying to get something, but Siragusa had him as a sitting duck.
Troy trying to just reach up there and swat that one, maybe giving Evan Cory a chance to go get to it, but not able to get enough of his paw on that one. Throws it out of bounds.
Reserving a 2 in our third set tiebreak, all to go into the final, and another serve into the highway of havoc, dealing an ace from the deck, Wyatt Harrison.
Wyatt, how many aces does he have in the match now? 4?
At least 3 right now. That's what, by my count. High pass in the middle of the court. Field, slow approach. Ball's picked up by Harrison. Harrison down ball, dug by Field. Fake. Oh, good save by Siragusa. Look at the rally. Do we keep it in play? Yes, we. No, we don't.
Oh, my word.
Not the cleanest, but the crowd appreciates the effort.
Well, I want to talk about that throwdown by Charlie. I don't know if you saw that. So Evan went to almost just a snappy roll shot, and Charlie reaching up and just one hand throwing that back down at him, almost a little Matumbo not in my house move, and Evan able to just chicken wing dig that back up. Evan giving him, or Troy somehow giving him a set there, and able to just pull that point out with some magic.
We're working on Harrison now, inside set, and Harrison jumping and a thumping.
And so Wyatt Harrison, Charlie Siragusa here doing a really good job, maintaining that lead in a really big, crucial reel by Wyatt Harrison with that ace just a moment ago. So up to 5 serving 3.
Field on the offering. Inside set, and Field delivers.
So they inch back with just within 1, 4 serving 5. Again, that ace by Wyatt Harrison is going to prove to be a big deal as it keeps them up on the side out and switch.
Back to Siragusa. Siragusa picked up off the block. Cory's going to drop shot it. Picked up by Siragusa. The lead goes over him. Cory out the Field. And got a net violation called on Harrison.
Yeah, Wyatt Harrison getting stuck up at the net there instead of Charlie Siragusa. Wyatt not looking to get put on any posters anytime soon, just tries to reach for that one as much as possible and gets a little too aggressive on the press there and grabbing the net.
5-5 here in our semifinal match in our AVP WAUPACA Open. Trickler ace.
Troy Field returning the favor. Man, a big, very big crucial point right now for Wyatt Harrison, Charlie Siragusa. They've slipped now, giving up 3 consecutive points. They've got to stop the bleeding and tie this game back up if they're going to have a chance.
Harrison, knuckle dig by Field. Kong block by Harrison.
And somebody's in the
What's the
lead.
call?
We're gonna figure out who it was.
I think, yeah, so Wyatt went up and got the ball up top. I think the discussion is impedance under the net, maybe. Yeah, so the point going the way of Evan, Cory, and Troy Field. So we're going to have 7 serving 5 here. Not exactly sure of the call there, but if I had to guess, I think the question may have been impedance under the net, and the ref giving that one to Troy. They felt Wyatt impeded his ability to play the ball under the net.
And Siragusa with vengeance.
Yeah, it's always very interesting to me to see how players respond after a, maybe a controversial or a tight call like that. Siragusa doing exactly what I would ask my player to do if I was coaching this team, which is, hey, goldfish moment, wipe the last point, go back out there and rip away, big man.
Cory with a hi-ya, but it's dug up and over by Harrison. You can see the call by Siragusa on the block line, and Siragusa sees it and turns out the lights.
Big ball there by Charlie Siragusa, staying home. He easily could have got deked to fall too far to the inside on his block there, as that set certainly looked like it was going to go wide with Evan Cory, and it stayed inside. And Charlie doing a phenomenal job there, just showing his expertise on the blocking side, staying home and reaching back out and getting that big block.
Cory. And Cory gets it by Siragusa.
Big credit to Evan Cory there to come back and respond after the last shot thrown down back in his face, and a big rip away into the inside hand of Charlie.
8-7. Evan Cory serving it up here on our near side. Harrison. And Harrison has a little stop and pop of his own.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've really been impressed this entire match, and we've seen Harrison bounce multiple balls over the last couple weekends in different matches, but in this match so far, Harrison has just been almost unstoppable when he gets a set up, I'd say within that 3 to 4 feet of the net in that hitting window.
They're going to the back set from Cory. Roll shot read by Harrison. Harrison getting up at the outside and busting out the whooping stick is Wyatt Harrison.
And there it is. Again, Wyatt Harrison just really showing up in this match right now as the I would say almost the main hitter, which if you told me that looking at the stat line, 6'9", 6'6", probably be looking at Charlie Siragusa to be that guy, but so far Wyatt Harrison is just playing in a different realm.
Off speed by Cory, finally breaking the scoring run. 9-9.
So far, Harrison and Siragusa doing what they needed to do here, not giving up any big runs to Cory and Field, but they're going to have to hit some crunch time points if they hope to take down the Denver Open champs.
Bad pass, free ball up and over. Let's see what happens here. Cory, high ball in the middle. And Field, high line.
Yeah, right there, Evan Cory, Troy Field. We've seen them so many times before. Maybe a little too fancy on that play, right? Free ball over. Troy Field easily could have tried to throw that up for Evan Cory to go on 2, but recognizing the 6'9" frame of Charlie Siragusa, just smartly goes to a nice, simple pass that kill. And Troy Field.
Block.
Oh my word. Blockers on both sides of that showing up big in this match right now. The third set at 11-9. I think we're going to get a timeout here by Wyatt Harrison and Charlie Siragusa.
Well, the last 2 plays by Harrison and Siragusa, they've had terrible first balls on reception, and that's what's led to now this 2-point deficit. They've got to clean it up and serve receive. This is the official red zone here in our third set tiebreak. Any bigger lead, it is not going to be they're not going to be able to turn it around.
Absolutely. We've seen once you let Evan Cory and Troy Field get, as they say, hot, they are such a force. And Troy Field really, I'd say carries the biggest chip on his shoulder, or plays with the biggest, swing when he gets that momentum going, and he really starts to get loud and boisterous and jumping around, getting the crowd involved. And Harrison and Siragusa need to figure out a way really quickly to kind of quiet him down, or to let him know that they're in charge and they're here to play. So a big time moment here for Harrison Siragusa coming out of this timeout is just, again, like you said, Rob, take care of the first pass. 2 really big crucial mistakes by them on the last 2 serve receive balls. They've really got to focus up here.
and they've been hanging tight this entire match with him. So this is an opportunity they've really got to grasp. And another block, 3 points in a row.
Troy Field, I think, might be trying to tie Charlie Siragusa's blocking stat line for the entire match just in this third set.
Another tough serve down the line. Siragusa reading it is Field, or correction, Cory. Harrison on the block, and does he save it? And Harrison able to get a hold of one.
And good job, Wyatt Harrison, going up against Evan Cory there at the net. All
That's
right,
interesting,
so
because Charlie and Wyatt in serve receive. Troy Field is just waiting at the left pin. He's not even showing that he's going to make a move up there. He's just lining up on the left pin in serve receive.
yeah, they kept pushing that ball wide to the pin instead of coming out of the middle to hit. So, and a very untimely miss by Wyatt. He's been lights out from the service line so far, and that one tailing out. So 13-10, the wall's closing in on Harrison Siragusa. They've got to take a big, deep breath if they can hope to slow down the Bayou train that is Evan Cory.
Cory goes to the hybrid. Short serve picked up by Siragusa. Good dig by Cory. High set into the middle, and Siragusa clamps down.
Very, very clutch block by Charlie Siragusa there, as a 14-10 would have felt almost insurmountable.
Now he's got to get a tough serve. Who do you serve, Taylor? Looking at your options on the court.
Going Troy Field short to the line.
I didn't hear you. Field. And getting the hands to Harrison, and we have our first match point for a ticket into the final.
All right. I think we're going to hear some skyball chants, but I do not believe that Troy Field is going to let the crowd get to him here, as he wants to get out of this third set quickly.
Your other finalists into that match: Peter Knoll, Caleb Queckel, first one into the championship match of the WAUPACA Open. Siragusa, high ball to the left hand, and he tools the outside block of Field.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The referee first kind of showing that point going the wrong direction. I was a little confused, but yes, the point does go the way of Wyatt Harrison, Charlie Siragusa. So a stave off match point. Now 12 serving 14.
Field, tight pass. And there's the winner, and into the final in back-to-back weeks, Evan Cory and Troy Field winning a nail-biter. 2 sets of 1, 19-21, 21-17, and 15-12. Taylor Wright, give me your breakdown of our men's semi. Check out Charlie kicking sand over on Troy Field, or Evan Cory.
Yeah, we see Charlie Siragusa maybe showing a little playful frustration and trying to bury Troy, as Troy Field showing up in big moments as a phenomenal defender. But the story, in my opinion, is excuse me, I said it wrong. Evan Cory showing up as a phenomenal defender, but Troy Field is the storyline in my book. Troy kind of not really being much of a factor early in that match at the net as a blocker, but when it mattered most, 3 back-to-back blocks to set up the 15-12 win in the third, and that was the difference, right? We had 3 back-to-back blocks, a win margin of 3 points. Without those 3 blocks, we're going to extra points right now. So Troy Field maybe being a little tired early in the match, certainly digging deep and finding some insanely clutch plays down the last stretch of that third set. Wyatt Harrison, Charlie Siragusa, you guys have a lot to build on after this tournament. We saw over the last couple of weeks playing some good ball, but not really capitalizing when it mattered most. I felt like today they really had a chance to go into the final. They were playing some great ball, some big moments, just a couple miscues here and there. Serve receive maybe being the biggest struggle that they had, especially in that third set. So if they can clean that up, we're going to be seeing them right back on stadium in the semis and finals in no time. But the story is Evan Cory, Troy Field taking down the Denver Open last weekend, and also I want to bring up one very funny point. So Evan Cory winning Denver last year in 2024 with Allison Cerruti, and then winning it this year with Troy Field. And by the way, in case you're not paying attention, Evan Cory also won WAUPACA last year with Allison Cerruti, and now trying to do it again with Troy Field. So Evan Cory trying to complete this, I don't know even what you call it, but a little back-to-back year, back-to-back wins for Evan Cory. So a big storyline for Evan Cory and Troy Field, but we have a heck of a matchup here in the women's final. Rob, you want to take us in? I know you've had a lot of time calling some amazing matches for both players on both sides of the net in this next one.
Well, I believe we got about 10 minutes, but I'll go ahead and mention it. Maureen Kinna and Chloe Loreen coming off a big dub over in Virginia Beach, which I do believe you were on the call with no Justice, no Jacob Peace. So, we're expecting some really good play from them. And think about this. Chloe Loreen played with Molly Shaw, and they had excellent results. Now, Maureen Kinna playing with Chloe Loreen, she is getting great results as well. So the common factor there, Chloe Loreen playing good ball at a good time. Just starting off her AVP career, fresh out of the University of Washington. One of the first ever pairs to be AVCA honorees with Natalie Robinson, who's now in law school at the University of Texas and doing commentary work, as a matter of fact. But Chloe Loreen, a solid blocker staying at 6 foot from Seattle, started her career at Santa Clara, then over to Washington. But Maureen Kinham, fiery player for Coach John Mayer and the LMU Lions from Guatemala, France. Expect some really good things from her because she is a smart and very, we'll say, cerebral volleyball player. And on the other side of the net, cerebral is as cerebral does. If you're coached by the professor, aka Todd Rogers, you're going to have some really high volley IQ athletes in Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez, some of his current Mustang disciples, so to speak. Connor, 6'1", and was a freshman All-American for Cal Poly, and was a great blocker, still a great blocker from Kihei, Hawaii. Her partner, Izzy Martinez, a second-team All-American in 2025 with partner Logan Walter. So, with that, we are going to have a toe-for-toe throwdown with a couple of newbie pairs. In all reality, fresh out of college, Ella Connor, still finishing her junior season. Izzy Martinez, 2 years out from her senior season, is Chloe Loreen. And Maureen Kinna, same deal from LMU. So we're going to jump off here in a moment so we can prep for our next match here. I'm Rob Espero with Taylor Wright and our awesome crew at Streamography. We're getting ready for a women's final, and then after that, the men's. So we'll be back in just a few moments.